Now let's talk about some competing dividend policy theories. The first one is the dividend irrelevance proposition. And notice here, it is proposed by our two lovely level 1 friends, Miller and his friend, colleague Modigliani from Italy. Miller and Modigliani, remember level 1, we spoke about capital structure irrelevance proposition. Yeah, they said the capital structure doesn't matter, whether you use debt or equity or some combination thereof does not matter. And now they come to level 2 and say dividend policy doesn't matter. So they are literally masters of irrelevance theories, guys. And the way they're going to explain it is they're basically going to say, look, if we assume perfect markets, and perfect markets, of course, means very important, no tax, no commission, no bid-ask spread. Also, we've got fractional shares, so we can buy and sell fractions of shares. Well, they basically say, look, if the company pays me a big fat dividend that I don't want and I don't need, I can take some or all of that dividend and plow it back into the stock, reinvest it. Yeah, create my homemade dividends, yeah, or take those dividends and plow them back. So that's if they pay me too much dividend. If they pay me too little dividend, I basically just take some of the shares, fractional shares, sell them, and manufacture my DIY homemade type of dividend. Of course, that will only work, again, if we don't have taxes, because once we have to pay taxes, CGT and so on, that's going to be a problem. Commissions when we trade is going to be a problem. So the dividend irrelevance theory must assume perfect markets. Second theory is the bird in the hand, comes from a proverb. Bird in the hand is better than two in the bush or two in the woods. Yeah, so what does that mean? That means that the certainty of a dividend paid right into your bank account today outweighs the uncertainty of capital growth that may or may not happen in the future. And of course, more risk-averse investors, retirees, people in need of current income are going to be the type of individuals to whom this theory appeals the most. So yeah, investors prefer the certainty of dividends. So that means that if my dividend yield goes up on that stock, the type of clientele, the type of investors investing in this stock will now perceive the stock as less risky. The cost of equity will drop as a result of the higher dividend yield, and the cost of equity being a discount rate, the present value or the price of that stock will increase. So you can see that there is a positive relationship between dividend yield and share price. The third theory completely contradicts the second one. So this one is named the Tax Aversion Theory, and it says investors prefer stocks with low or even no dividend. So lower the dividend yield, and that's how you're going to achieve a higher share price. You can see it contradicts theory number 2. How are we going to explain this? Well, first of all, in most jurisdictions, the tax on dividends exceeds the tax on capital gains. So let's take here the UK as an example. Dividend income is considered essentially more or less income. Yeah. So I would get taxed on it as if I was earning it. Yes, the tax rates might be a little bit different to my income tax rates, but the logic still applies. The more you're earning right now, the more tax you'll be paying on that dividend. So obviously, if you're a high earner right now, you're not retired, you actually have other sources of income, you may not want that additional dividend because it gets obliterated through obscene amount of taxes. Now, as I said, in many jurisdictions, the tax on capital gains is lower than the tax on income. So investors might say, well, look, I'm going to be looking for a share that pays no dividend, but it rewards me through capital growth. The advantage of capital growth is as we said, when you do eventually sell it, you will be paying a tax rate on the capital gain that is lower than what you would have paid on the dividend income. And secondly, you've got a bit more control because the dividend income hits your account annually, and whether you like it or not, you have to pay tax on it. Whereas you get to decide when you're going to eventually sell the share, if you do sell it, and obviously on the death of the original investor. Maybe the cost basis could also adjust in certain jurisdictions, thereby avoiding completely capital gains tax for the heirs. So there are various, let's say, advantages to deferring that tax through a capital gain. So, as I said, just to cut a long story short, bird in the hand, that's kind of retiree, low-income person looking for the certainty of the dividend income, whereas tax aversion, that's your high flyer, big income right now, wants to keep dividend income low, wants to defer the tax liability to the future via a capital gain.